Over to you, Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Eva. You're on mute. We cannot hear you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. A very warm welcome to all the Toastmasters and dear guests to the debate educational session of Division C. As per the custom of a Toastmasters club and for the benefit of all being Sergeant at Arms for the day, let me give you an introduction about the Toastmasters International. Toastmasters International was founded in 1924 by Dr. Ralph C. Smedley at YMCA in Santa Ana, California, USA, a leading nonprofit organization for the last 99 years, a world leader in communication and leadership development. The club mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. The core values of Toastmasters are integrity, respect, service, and excellence. A few ground rules to be followed here are, as it is sensitive to this part of the world, the taboo topics on sex, religion, and politics are to be avoided. Mobile phones are to be switched off or to be put in silent mode. Please ensure to keep your audio muted unless you are presenting, and upload the speaker before and after their speech using virtual emoticons. Now I'll call upon our dynamic and energetic Division Director of Division C, Toastmaster Soumya Shetty, for the opening address. Over to you, Didi.
Thank you so much, Eva. A big round of applause for her. And if I'm not mistaken, she's a very new Toastmaster. How many months, Eva?
I just joined last month.
Exactly. So kudos to you. Very well done. Yeah.
Thank you.
And let me first welcome all the participants over here. It's a Sunday afternoon. I know it's an off day, but we are all passionate Toastmasters, isn't it? And the cherry on the cake is the debate contest, which will soon be happening, which was not there last year, but this year it is happening at the club level. And what happens is at times when we don't practice anything, even if we master in that subject, we tend to lose the essence of it, and we are not really. And at times it is good to refresh the memory. Yeah. So that is what we are going to do today here. We are having an education session. Then we have a mock debate lined up with a lot of them are first-time debaters, I must say. And then there would be a panel moderation, a panelist discussing on the debate. This is how the structure is going to be. I quickly want to acknowledge the presence of few dignitaries over here, our DD, DTM Deepa Surendran. I can see the club presidents over here. I can see ADs over here. So please, a warm welcome to all the dignitaries over here. And without further ado, let's start the first segment of today's session. So to give us an education session, meet someone who is an extraordinary individual. He has been a Toastmaster for 17 years, former Division Head Director and a Pathways Ambassador. As a founder of Human Rights Toastmaster, his passion for communication and leadership is undeniable. Today, he serves as a head of learning and development in a leading multinational based in UAE. And by night and also on weekends, he channels his creativity as an avid poet. His journey is a testament of dedication, innovation, and personal growth. Please put your hands together to welcome none other than DTM Devlal. Over to you.
Soumya, Toastmaster Soumya, your voice was breaking. So was it just me, or did others feel the same?
Same here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's all right. You can always repeat my introduction at the end of the session. That's okay.
Okay. Over to you. Over to you, DTM Devlal.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. I was told that I've got only about 20 to 25 minutes, so this is going to be a little bit of, I'm actually starting on my third or fourth gear, okay, straight away. And I also acknowledge the presence of some superstars of debate here, you know. So sometimes when I see these people in the audience, I feel like maybe I've bitten a little more than I can chew. So there are some superstars in this audience, especially in the panel. That's a bit That makes me nervous. Allow me to share my screen. Could you please enable the screen sharing? It will, like I said, it would take about 20 to 25 minutes. So at least a couple of minutes towards the end of it, I would like to leave that to the audience to ask any questions. I hope I'm loud and clear. Am I?
Yes, and you can share.
All right. All right. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, here we go. I hope you can see my screen. Yes, somebody. Yes, you can see. Okay, thank you. Faisal. Okay. Let's start with a couple of terminologies of a debate, and please feel free if you would like to leave the answers in the chat box or maybe shout it through your microphone. I don't have absolutely no problems. Okay. Proposition and opposition. Okay, what does that mean? That's the simplest, right? That's some of the basic stuff. Proposition, opposition. Anybody quickly would like to switch on the microphone and tell the audience what this could mean? Hello, anybody? Maybe our panel members, maybe they could just explain that in a sentence or two. So by the way, interaction is always welcome, which is why I'm asking these questions. I can't see the chat screen, so I'm going to assume that there's nothing much.
Maybe
Yes.
one set of group who's going to talk for, and the other side which is going to talk against it. It could be a common topic, but there could be pros and cons.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karadak. Quick and easy. That's it. The team that is for the topic is the proposition, and the opposition would be the team against the topic. Because most of the topics, it's a statement or a question, so you've got to either disagree or agree with it. Affirmative and negative, once again, it is connected to that. If you're going to be agreeing to the statement or the question, you're going to say yes to the question that is the topic of the discussion, then it is affirmative. And if you disagree, if you choose to disagree, of course, that is negative. Moderator, well, in this during this debate session, there's going to be a panel and there is going to be a moderator for that. So who is that person? Anybody quickly would like to contribute? Who is a moderator? In very
I'm the
simple,
moderator, TTM Data.
you are the moderator. So how would you describe yourself, Toastmaster Elizabeth?
How would I?
Yes, how would you explain your job as a moderator in a sentence?
I would be explaining the rules for the mock debate
Okay.
and the timings and the flow of the speakers.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Elizabeth. Someone who a moderator would guide the whole event, making sure that it remains within the time, the topic never deviates out of the discussion doesn't deviate out of the topic, etc. Okay, pretty much like a class monitor. Then you have the motion and the resolution. Okay, anybody would like to quickly chip in with your opinion on what is a motion and a resolution? Motion or a resolution? Go ahead, Elizabeth. I think your microphone is muted.
So I was speaking somewhere.
Oh, somewhere else. See, I caught you. Okay. Motion or resolution is usually the topic that has been presented. It could be a statement or a question, like I said earlier. And the job of the debating team is to present that motion, and then or the resolution is, we would say we are for the motion, and then they will repeat the statement. Judge or the adjudicators obviously are the people who would decide decide the winning team or the winning debater, sometimes called as an adjudicator. Constructive or opening speech. Now you would see this in action a little while later. There would be one member of the team who would open the speech, open the argument for them. That person is called as the opening speech. The person will put forth the opinions of that team in a nutshell and set the tone for the debate. So that is the opening speaker or the opening speech done by the opening speaker. Refute or rebut. Anyone quickly? Suggestions as to what is refuting or rebutting?
Someone shares an opinion and you could have an opposing view on that. So you could refute that thought process.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much. It is that member of the team who will nullify, will try to nullify, who will try to say that the opposing team came up with invalid arguments, etc. You're basically trying to attack the statements made by the opening speaker of the other team. That is the rebuttal speaker, the act of rebutting. Once again, I don't have to say this. It's got to be done from within certain parameters. It's got to be respectful of that entire procedure. Logical fallacy. Anyone would like to contribute and explain very quickly what does a logical fallacy mean? Anyone?
Talking more sensible on the topic, more
Okay.
connected to the subject.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Kavita. Or in simple language, it's something that questions your logic, right? A statement that cannot be explained with the help of logic, something that is ridiculous, something that you would, prima facie, would say, well, this cannot be supported with any sort of evidence. We have a couple of more terms coming up. One is an argument, a reason, evidence, summary, closing, claim, and assertion. Of this, the argument, reason, evidence, etc., I'm not going to explain because they are self-explanatory. You can deduce the meaning of these words. Summary of the closing, once again, is done by the closing speaker of the team. You would summarize all the points made by your opening speaker and the rebuttal speaker and put it in a nicely packaged product. That's the job of the closing, and it's got to have a powerful, impactful closing. Claim or an assertion is what you're trying to achieve. You would say that we, team A, our claim is that Mickey Mouse is a rat. You have a standpoint that, and this is the statement that you're trying to prove at the end of your debate. We'll quickly move on to the structure, and I believe this is the structure you would be following today, which is having 3 speakers in each team, and the opening speakers get 3 minutes each. The rebuttal speakers also get 3 minutes each, and the closing speaker gets only 2 minutes. So this is something that is important for someone who's taking part in the debate for the first time. Remember this. When you say 3 minutes, it might just go in a flash. So you've got to be very, very careful in noting down your points and phrasing it in such a way that time is not wasted, dilly-dallying and beating around the bush. You've got to get to the point straight. And the sequence is denoted on the screen with the help of arrow marks. First, the team of the proposition, opening speaker gets 3 minutes, and then the opening speaker of the other team. And then it goes to the rebuttal speaker of the same team, the second team. And then it comes back to the proposition team, goes back to opposition for the closing, and ends with the first team that opened the debate. So that's the structure. Timing rules, which I'm sure that later would be mentioned again. But let's look at a couple of things that an opening speaker would ideally do. Okay, if a topic or a statement is given to you, the opening speaker would initially, and I'm not saying that this are must-do things, but ideally most of the debating teams would do this. They will define the key terms. For example, if you're going to say that cars are causing a lot of danger on the road, and pedestrian safety is important, you may have to define what does it mean by pedestrian safety. So define the key terms, then we will move on to signposting. Signposting is a technique that a lot of debaters would do initially to let the people know where you stand. Okay, I am going to, for example, I would say I'm going to present the 3 key points which will help our team, and of course the audience to understand that this statement is correct or incorrect. And then you say, in addition to that, or I would also like to, etc., to take the audience, the judges, to a place where you want them to be. Okay, that's how you guide them. Arguments, it comprises of all the 4: assertion, reason, evidence, and impact. You have to substantiate your statement, right? When you say that, okay, we agree with the topic or we don't agree with the topic, you have to provide evidence. You have to reason it out. You have to use everybody's logic. You have to align the logic to your argument. Finish it off impactful. Assertion, reason, evidence, impact, quality. All these terms, I've explained what it means on the screen itself. The last thing is important to remember: stick to strong and valid arguments. Because I remember one of the debate contests we took part, the opposing team said, it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. That person said it 2-3 times. That isn't a valid argument. Just because you don't agree with me, it doesn't mean that you've got something valid to say, isn't it? So your arguments need to be clear and valid. At this point in time, I would like to ask the audience, do you have any questions? Anybody? Any questions? Well, Toastmaster Elizabeth, if at all you find any questions in the chat box, please feel free to shout them out. Okay. All right.
I have one. When is the topic going to be given? And because based on that, we will be deciding on the opening speaker, rebuttal, and the conclusion
Okay.
one, isn't it?
Yeah. See, it all depends upon the debate organizers. There have been cases when the debate topic is given in days in advance. Sometimes you get that maybe an hour or two in advance. Sometimes 20 minutes is all you get. So it all depends upon the format of the debate. So that question will be answered a little later, right? Toastmaster Soumya, right? If you would like to clarify, go ahead. You can tell them now.
No. Yes, I mean, for mock debate, that the topic is already been given, but for contest, definitely before the contest, the topic will be given. But on the day on the contest, let's as and when we progress, it will be just before the semi-finals or finals. But some time will be given for them to prepare.
Thank you, Soumya. I've had experiences when the topic is given roughly about 20 minutes in advance or 30 minutes in advance. Okay, that obviously is a challenge, but then that's just the nature of the game. Oh, well, we all wish we had the topic in advance, right? Yes. Opening statement. Let's take a look quickly at the strong and weak arguments. And just an example, okay? The premise is this. Reptiles are cold-blooded. Iguana is a reptile. That's a premise. Now let's see the conclusion. Iguana is a cold-blooded reptile. Is this true? It's valid. Certainty. You just can't argue this. You cannot rebut it. It is absolutely right. So that's one way. Now here's the second one. This is not a great argument. Most big reptiles are carnivores. We all understand what it means by carnivores, right? Meat eating. And the conclusion is that iguana is carnivorous. Well, since most big reptiles are carnivores and iguana is a big one, we can assume that it is carnivorous, but it's a strong argument, it's high probable, but once again, it doesn't warrant a positive conclusion. But look at this one. Slimy skin, all right? Iguana has slimy skin. What about that? Weak and low probability. So that's the difference between a strong and a weak argument. It all depends upon what kind of facts and statistics and references would you come up with, kind of logic would you come up with to conclude that it's a certainty. So you definitely will have to go for certainty. An example. I've given a couple of examples of I've given an example of what is a motion, the assertion, reasoning, evidence given, and the impact. Now, in this case, space exploration is a waste of money. So that is the motion, okay? That's the motion. And this particular team is going to say that it is not. So the House believes, this particular team believes that space exploration is basically a criminal waste of money. And their assertion is this: spending huge amounts of money. No other priorities are considered, and the evidence is this. Now, when you provide evidence, you also will have to quote the source, just an indication for anyone who's taking part in a debate. And remember that this kind of stats, figures, etc., come from authentic sources, and it is not outdated. You just can't come up with a figure from 20 years ago. So you've got to look at all that. And the impact statement is it is unethical. Okay, underline the word unethical. It is unethical to spend money, so much of billions, when 10% of the world, or probably more, is hungry. So that's how you finish that argument. Now, let's move to the next one. And then if you have any questions, you can ask me. The rebuttal speaker on the other side is going to say, he's going to use a technique. Structure, style, language, research, invalidation, moral flows, correlation, etc. Out of which I don't have time to go into the details of every single one, but I would have noticed the first one, structure. Attack the viewpoints first. Sometimes some of the debate participants will use a technique called as barracking, where you will throw a lot of information. You would come up with 10, 12 arguments, so you wouldn't know which one to attack first. So you always go for the weak, go for the jugular, go for the weak arguments first. And sometimes in all this 10, 12 is pretty much 3, 4 points if you listen carefully. They're kind of packaged and made to sound like 10, 12 different arguments. But in reality, there could only be 3 or 4 valid points. So identify them, attack them. Style, if you can be authoritative, be confident, be sarcastic. Remember, a little pinch of humor always helps. Okay, it helps you to kind of take into confidence the audience and the judges. Language, keep it simple. Research invalidation, I already talked to you about it. Moral flaws in the arguments, which means, okay, somebody cannot just justify killing or murdering or rape or anything of that sort just because it is a debate. So watch out for those. Correlation, causation. Correlation and causation, they're not the same. Correlation is where you will provide one evidence and then link that with the second one, even though they may not have any relation. They may not be related at all. So look out for those kind of arguments. False dichotomy. Anybody would like to, at this point, would like to switch on the microphone and tell and give an example of what is a false dichotomy? Anybody?
Making a false statement which may not be true or relevant to the topic.
Yeah. You would say it in such a way that it makes sense, but it is not. It is not connected with the topic at all. The last one is, thank you, Toastmaster Kavita. The last one is a show stealer. The team will sit together and prepare the notes and all that. At that time, they would come up with a way of finishing the debate, the summary of the debate, which is done by the closing speaker in such a way that you have a couple of sentences that will have either will highlight the statistical data, that the strength of the statistical data, or sometimes it will have an emotionally charged statement. That is called a show stealer. Okay, it's got to be an impactful statement. How are we doing in terms of time? We don't have a lot of time left, right? Okay, quick ones. Once again, I don't think I have time to go through all of this. The one white little box which is in red ink, it says ad hominem. Can anybody would like to quickly point out what that means? That is something that you must never do. Okay, and avoid that at all costs. Anyone would like to make a comment about it?
Which one? Which
the
one?
last one.
Personal attack.
Personal
Yes.
attacks, yeah.
Exactly, yes. Ad hominem means you are not refuting an argument, you're making a personal attack on the debater, which has to be avoided at all costs. Okay, this will get you minus points, and obviously you will lose the support of all the audience and the judges. So that is something you must strawman argument. Anybody would like to comment on that? What do you mean by a strawman argument? Anyone quickly?
I think it's talking about something other than the topic. I mean,
okay,
assigning blame to something else.
Okay, you're partially right. Yeah, I'll give you an example. Maybe you're talking for pedestrian safety, and you're going to come up and say that cars are dangerous. Cars cause accidents, so cars must be banned. Okay, that is a strawman. It's a very weak argument. It's basically an out of context claim. That's then what next? Okay, a logical flow. Well, that's very simple. Okay, you would say something like that. Okay, Sachin Tendulkar won that match because on that day it was his birthday, and that's why he won. Something that is completely illogical. Appeal to ignorance. Yes, anybody would like to make a comment about that? Appeal to ignorance. Anyone? Okay.
Maybe a fact stated which is not too which may not be a very sensible in that particular subject, or it may not be really sensible. I don't know what to say. It may not be very connected to that subject or real.
Okay. You're pretty much right. Basically, is that you don't have any evidence to refute a claim. You're going to say that, well, I've got ghosts in my car garage, but nobody can prove that they do not exist. It's appealing to ignorance. You just cannot disprove it, which is simply because nobody has disproved it. So that is called appeal to ignorance. Quickly, another one. Which one? Contradictory evidence. Anyone? Since we are running short of time, I'll quickly give you one. Oh, my brother is very jealous of me because I'm a single child. Now, the statement itself contradicts, right? Well, if I'm a single child, I can have a brother, right? So that's called contradictory evidence. Then what is it? A circular argument. This is where you would say A happened because of B and B happened because of A. You're using the evidence as a claim, and you just repeat the claim as an evidence. So that's called circular argument. These are some of the rebuttal strategies and fallacies. So smart teams would be able to latch on to some of these and use that against the other team. Okay, how are we doing in terms of time? May I have something? Toastmaster Elizabeth, how many minutes do I have? Or have I overshot the time?
3 more minutes. 3 more.
Three. Oh my God. Okay, now being able to complete all these points itself is debatable. So, okay, so here is an example of how a rebuttal speaker would progress. You can see that the assertion, and then you're going to question that premise by saying that, okay, you said there are other priorities, but who decides these priorities? Okay, what countries are we talking about? Are we talking about countries spending billions on a space program where you have millions of people who are hungry? And zero-sum game, I'll quickly tell you what zero-sum game means. It's a theory that states that when money is spent on something, it is not exactly going waste. If the money that is spent and the money that is being received, if you put it together, if the sum is zero, that means money is still there. It hasn't been wasted. Okay. Life, on the other side, is not a zero-sum game, but maybe investment in space exploration is a zero-sum game. And finally, you would say, well, you talk about ethics, but then who decides about ethics? Okay. Closing speaker. Justification. You're going to reiterate why your team decides to win. You would summarize all those points that your opening speaker and the rebuttal speaker said, and you would also highlight why the other team didn't look very good. You cannot make any new points. Okay, you've got to keep this in mind. The closing speaker shall not present any new points. You reinstate it and finish it in style. Okay, mic drop. That's it. Be eloquent. Finish it with an appeal. Finally, just these quick things for me. I'll leave you with this. These are some of the things you've got to look into if you want to win. The manner which you say, confidence, pace, pitch. Obviously, you cannot be speaking as fast as me. The way I did today. Okay, you will have to slow down. I was kind of running against the clock because of the time that didn't properly allow me to finish. But anyways, the matter is how we presented the arguments, how credible were your arguments, the statistics and figures and logic that you applied, etc. And the method, how did you structure it? Did you follow the technique of time posting, work as a team, etc.? So those are a few quick points, and that brings us to the end. Or I believe I more or less managed, isn't it? Few. Okay. All right. Okay. Questions. I think we have 1 minute. Huh? 2
I
minutes,
have one
maybe?
question.
All right. Go ahead.
Now in the debating, is it going to be divided based on the what do you call level of experience, like the experience, the mid-level, the beginners, or is it going to be across anyone and everyone?
Okay. I'm going to talk about, let's say the topic is about space exploration. I have no clue whether Toastmaster Kavi is an expert. You could be working for the NASA. How do I know that? So it's very difficult to say that. So most of the time, debates use topics that anybody can talk about. You need to have we all need to have reasonable education, right? It's good to have some people who usually do very well in debates. They read a lot, they observe things, okay, and they're also articulate. So it's a combination of all these factors, but we definitely wouldn't be going into, say, for example, the technique behind the string theory, because that may be a bouncer for 90% of the people sitting in the audience. So my simple answer is, most of the time, topics are of a general nature that most people will be able to comment with a little bit of research, of course.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
I think it's time up. Sorry to say. It's
All
time
right.
up now.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you for being a wonderful audience and looking forward to the fight. And I wish all the best to the teams and the panel that is going to come up with. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, DTM Devlal, for a power-packed, enriched, and refined education session. We couldn't have asked for more before Division C fights the battle. So now we are all going ahead. First, have a round of applause for Toastmaster Devlal. And without wasting any time, we move ahead to put all the knowledge into action with a mock debate. Today's mock debate has been organized to give all the participating members a flavor of the debate process and lay the foundation of Division C contest, plus a chance to see the competitive spirit as well as the talent of our mock debaters out here. The topic for today's debate is Artificial Intelligence is a Threat to Humanity. There are two teams, each consisting of 3 members in today's contest. Team A will speak for the motion and Team B will speak against the motion. Let me announce the rules for today's contest. The teams have to wait for me. I'm the moderator for the mock debate to introduce them and also my signal to commence the contest. Team A for team is Toastmaster Benjamin Uman. May I request the Zoom master, Toastmaster FR, to spotlight Toastmaster Benjamin. Toastmaster Vijay Rama and Toastmaster Abhishek Amarnani. Team B against all the speakers, if you could spotlight.
Elizabeth, can you ask them to raise their hand so that I will find them quickly?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Toastmaster Vijay, could you raise your hand? Toastmaster Abhishek Amarnani, could you raise your hand? Thank you. Team B against team, we have Toastmaster Rashmi Gurbalsani, Toastmaster Dr. G.V. Ravi, and Toastmaster Diya Pardasani. Please raise your hand so it's easy for Toastmaster FR to spotlight you. While he spotlights, we are happy to see you on screen. I can see 4 at the moment. I'm sure all would be coming in. We are happy to see all of you on the virtual platform. The sequence of speaking is as follows. The team which has been selected to speak for shall commence the debate. Speaker 1 of the team for the topic shall open and speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. There shall be a grace period of a maximum 10 seconds in today's mock debate. The speaker 1 of the team against the topic shall then open on behalf of his or her team and speak for a maximum of 3 minutes with a grace period of maximum 10 seconds. Note that this speech is an opening for the team against the topic and shall not be used to rebut any of the opposing team's opinions. Then, speaker 2 of the team against the topic shall then speak for a maximum of 3 minutes with a grace period of maximum 10 seconds. This speech shall be a rebuttal of the opening speech provided by the team speaking for the topic. Speaker 2 of the team for the topic shall then speak for a maximum of 3 minutes with a grace period of maximum 10 seconds. This speech shall be a rebuttal of the opening speech provided by the team speaking against the topic. For the opening and rebuttal speakers, the green light will be shown on 2 minutes 30 seconds and the red light at 3 minutes. 10 seconds after the red light is up, the Zoom master will mute the speaker. Any points made after that will not be heard. Speaker 3 of the team against the topic shall then summarize or provide the closing speech for a maximum of 2 minutes with a grace period of maximum 10 seconds. Speaker 3 of the team for the topic shall then summarize or provide the closing speech for a maximum of 2 minutes with a grace period of maximum 10 seconds. For the closing speakers, the green light will be shown on 1 minute 30 seconds and red light at 2 minutes. 10 seconds after the red light is up, the Zoom master will mute the speaker. Any points made after will not be heard. Each of the speaking rounds shall concentrate only for the purpose for which they are defined. No new points or rebuttals shall be included in the speech after the first speaker of each term has concluded their address. Taboo topics as defined by Toastmasters International in the UAE must be observed without fail. The taboo topics include sex, religion, and politics. No speaker shall abuse or accuse an opponent personally during his address. Respect should be shown to each of the participating members and teams. For example, instead of using the name of the speaker, try using my worthy opponent. As we are on an online platform, there are some rules that everyone has to follow. Everyone with the speaker on screen is to be muted so that the flow of the debate is not disturbed. In case anyone wants to clap during the end of the speeches, please use the emoticons on your screens. Okay, I hope everyone understood the rules, especially the speakers. If you nod your heads, that's enough for me. So now, let's begin the debate. Okay. I would request the Zoom master to spotlight the first speaker, Toastmaster Benjamin, as well as the timer. The timer would be spotlighted throughout. Toastmaster Benjamin, you can unmute yourself. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
You're audible and visible. That's your audio video check.
All right. Okay, I can see the timer.
Okay. With that, over to you, Toastmaster Benjamin.
Ladies and gentlemen of the House, judges, and my esteemed opposition, my team and I stand for the motion that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Let me begin by defining the key terms. Artificial intelligence refers to the intelligence possessed by software, programs, or machines created by humans. Humanity refers to human beings, and a threat is something likely to cause danger or damage. While AI undoubtedly holds a lot of promise, it is utter foolishness to be blind to the many threats that it also poses. Let me outline just 3 of these many threats for you. Firstly, job displacement. Artificial intelligence is rapidly reshaping the job market. According to a 2020 report by the World Economic Forum, it is estimated that automation and AI will replace 800 million jobs by 2030. This would have a huge impact, leading to increased income inequality and the sure prospect of social unrest. Envision a future of constant uncertainty, which you don't know if your next paycheck could be your last. That is the future that AI has in store for you. Secondly, potential for bias and discrimination. In a world in which more and more roles are being taken up by AI, are these systems even fit for the roles that they take up? AI systems are designed by humans. They can and do inherit biases from the way in which they are designed. For instance, a 2021 study by the American nonprofit ProPublica found that AI algorithms used in criminal risk assessments were biased against African Americans. One of the big selling points of AI is their lack of bias, but I would argue that this is simply not true. Imagine a future in which decisions that impact your life are taken by a biased software program. That is the future that AI has in store for you. And finally, a big one, security risks. AI can be used for malicious purposes, including cyber attacks and deepfake generation. In 2020, the World Economic Forum's Global Risk Report listed AI as one of the top technological threats to humanity and global stability, highlighting concerns about the potential for AI-driven cyber warfare and misinformation campaigns. Can you fathom a future in which you are never safe, knowing that an AI system on which you have come to depend could be used against you? That is the future AI has in store for you. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, these dystopian futures may very well become our reality if we fail to tread carefully. I call upon you all to stand with us strongly for the motion. Artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Over to you, moderator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Benjamin. I now call upon the first speaker of Team B, Toastmaster Rashmi Gurbaksani. Toastmaster Rashmi, if you could unmute yourself. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Rashmi.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
I confirm you are audible and visible. With this, over to you, Toastmaster Rashmi.
Call Etisalat on 101. A chatbot or a virtual assistant powered by AI helps you solve your queries. Members of the House, good afternoon. We as a team stand against the motion artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. We firmly believe that AI has a wide array of benefits that has positive effects on humanity with numerous aspects affecting our lives and the whole world. Our team supports the stance with the following points. Firstly, it enhances productivity and efficiency. AI has the potential to improve efficiency in various industries. AI automates tasks, which leads to increased productivity and economic growth. According to Statista, there is a projected increase in productivity, which is estimated to continue until 2035. The top 3 countries that would benefit from this is Sweden at 37%, the US at 35%, and Japan at 34%. Secondly, AI helps in customer service, since we are living in a customer-centric world where the customers are king. Chatbots and virtual assistants help in powered by AI help in customer service round the clock by solving our problems and queries efficiently. Research by Zoe states that come 2025, AI is predicted to power 95% of customer interactions. Thirdly, predictive analytics. AI helps in forecasting trends, outcomes, and even potential issues. It helps governments and organizations take informed decisions, prevent problems, and allocate resources effectively. Research by Forbes states that 91.9% of the organization receive valuable data from predictive analytics. Having said this, we as a team would like to reiterate that the benefits of AI are vast and transformative, touching every aspect of our lives and the global society. AI enables to enhance efficiency, improve decision-making, and personalize experiences. I have been using AI to monitor my team, which is spread out all across India. So I would urge the House to stand against the motion AI as a threat to humanity. Over to you, Moderator Elizabeth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rashmi. With this, I would now call upon the second speaker of Team B, Toastmaster Dr. G.V. Ravi. Thank you. Before I wish you, I would request the timer to put on green when the time signal reaches there. Otherwise, just use the regular background. So, Dr. G.V. Ravi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Yeah.
Good afternoon.
If I may, sir, I can still see, I can see a green on the timer's screen already.
Yes, it's been changed. It's been changed.
Yeah, thank you.
I confirm you're audible and visible. With that, over to you, Toastmaster Dr. G.V. Ravi.
Thank you. Heraclitus, the Greek philosopher, said, change is the only constant. But mankind has always been protesting against change. Every invention over in history, right from medieval times to the recent inventions, has been met with skepticism and fear. Artificial intelligence is another one of them. My learned and worthy opponent, Benjamin, who's described as a pro in debating, pointed out a few bad aspects of AI. Firstly, he talked about job displacement. Let me tell you, the best earning jobs of today were not existent 10 years ago. What sort of jobs are being lost by AI? Jobs which are boring, jobs which are repetitive, jobs which are not productive, jobs which are sometimes dangerous to the operator. These are the jobs that are being replaced by AI. And by AI, the business process and the production is increased so much that it is so much easier for a new set of people to enter into the business, and therefore there will be more jobs that are created. Secondly, he talked about bias. Human beings, when we are born, we are not born with bias. Bias is taught to us by society. Bias is taught to us by the data which is put into us by the society. You're on a dark road, you're walking, okay? and you're scared. On one side, you see a huge man, bald, okay, huge, dark. And the other side, you see a lady, old lady who's walking. You'll automatically cross to the side where the old lady is. But what if she's carrying a gun? The old lady may be carrying a gun and he may be there to mug you. Therefore, bias is something which is input into the system by the human operator. Do not blame the system for that. Blame the operator. Blame the human who is getting to this. Security risk. Any invention can be used for good and for bad. You're buying a gun to protect yourself. The same gun can be used to kill somebody else. Why would you blame the gun? Blame yourself. So, in conclusion, I would say, I would protest to the term threat used by my opponent. From threat, if you remove the H, which stands for half-brained ideas, AI becomes a treat to human beings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dr. Ravi. I may now call upon the second speaker of Team A, Toastmaster Vijay Rama. Toastmaster Vijay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I confirm that you're both audible and visible. With this, over to you, Toastmaster Vijay.
Artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Indeed, it's a threat to humanity. Let me just lay out the main 4 points into a rebuttal form with a strong evidence as well as supporting facts and figures that could restate that artificial intelligence is indeed a threat to humanity. So my opponent said AI enhances productivity and efficiency. Yes, it does enhance productivity and efficiency. But do you also know that it clearly disrupts workflow and requires significant investment from time to implement it effectively, potentially even decreasing efficiency in a very short term? There is a report by Accenture that shows that 83% of companies struggle to integrate AI into their business process, often experience setbacks that hinder the operation efficiency. Even in UAE, we had one of the biggest case study of the major retailer reported a temporary decrease in productivity when AI was powered inventory management, which was not properly integrated, leading to inventory shortages and customer dissatisfaction, which leads to the next point. When the opponent spoke about AI helps in customer service. Yes, it could be round-the-clock service, customer service, chatbots taking up the jobs, but it is not always effective in resolving complex issues. What about providing personalized touch that human agents can only deliver? Like I said, consumers in a large scale. There's another survey done in the UAE itself that 64% consumers, a survey by PwC, showed that customer experiences interactions are preferred to be addressed by humans rather than customers, rather than just robotic customer agents or services that we could see. And there is a huge number of expressed frustration due to the chatbots' inability to provide satisfactory responses, intricate queries leading to dissatisfaction. Ask ourselves, everyone in this room, when you call a bank or go to the chatbot, we always wanted to get the human touch. We always wanted to go back to the human rather than speaking to a robot. Going to the third point on predictive analytics by AI that could help governments to make better decisions and so on. Yes, AI can help with decision making, but in the bigger picture, they are dependent on the quality and accuracy of data, which can be subjected to biasness and errors. Let me explain this. The World Economic Forum highlighted concerns about the potential for a logarithmic biasness in predictive analysis. I'm sure all of us are aware of this, how this logarithm works from our social media up to every potential software that we use. In this predictive analysis, historical data may give us existing biasness that is leads to unfair and incorrect politicization. That makes to say very clearly that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay. I now call upon the third speaker of Team B, Toastmaster Dia Pardasani. Toastmaster Diya, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, I confirm that you're audible as well as you're visible. With this, over to you, Toastmaster Diya.
Good afternoon to all present here. In conclusion, as a team, our stand remains firm and against the motion that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Artificial intelligence has penetrated in every sphere of our life. Reiterating the points of opening speech by Toastmaster Rashmi, AI enhances efficiency and productivity by automating repetitive tasks that have been largely implemented through technologies like RPA, called as robotic process automation, that has been widely used across many industries and different functions. It has also improved customer service by the use of chatbots and virtual AI assistants, as exemplified personally by Toastmaster Rashmi. AI-enabled predictive analysis have also become congruent to long-term and sustainable strategic planning of many organizations and governments that have provided meaningful insights, as also personally exemplified by Toastmaster Rashmi. Also, our Toastmaster Ravi has rebutted all the points and substantiated it with worthy points made by our worthy opponents. First is the job displacement. Now, as per the statistical data provided by PwC, jobs are not going to be replaced. In fact, 75% more jobs will be available by 2035 and more in the field of artificial intelligence. It will only replaceable non-worthy jobs, repetitive and unproductive. Again, reiterating our point of increasing productivity and efficiency. Bias. We have never seen a society that is unbiased. By birth, we are in a biased society. So it does not really support the stand of our AI importance. Security risks. Are we in a more secure world now? Are we in a more secure world? No. Security is in our hands. How we use it. In every invention has its pros and cons, but how we use that invention for the good or for the bad defines whether that invention is is providing any security or is a threat to security or not. In the light of above supporting points, I call upon the House to stay united with us and against the motion. Artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Thank you. Over to you, moderator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Diya. With that, I call upon the third speaker of Team A, Toastmaster Abhishek Amarnani. Toastmaster Abhishek, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. I confirm that you're audible and visible. With that, over to you, Toastmaster Abhishek.
I'm here to provide closure to the arguments raised by Mr. Benjamin and Vijay. The first point, very well said by Benjamin, was job displacement. The potential to reduce humans with machines. That 800 million jobs would be lost, which would lead to unemployment and inequality. His second point was bias and discrimination. And there would be inherent bias if the data itself is biased. And he said a very good report of 2021 by ProPublica that in US, there may be a bias against African Americans when it comes to law. And an important third point was security risk, that there could be malicious use like deep fakes and cyber attacks from AI. And again, he stated a WEF report listing AI as one of the top threats to global stability, and it will lead to misinformation and cyber warfare. And a rebuttal speaker, Vijay, rebutted very well, stating when it comes to productivity, that significant cost would be required and time would be required to in fact implement. And he stated in Accenture report that 83% of all the companies struggle to integrate AI. And in fact, there was an example he stated about the UAE retailer that that suffered an inventory loss. His second point is customer service was really good, where he stated that we all want to talk to a person, not to a human. And in fact, he stated that the UAE PwC survey said 65% of all the people surveyed wanted to talk to a human. So he stated it with very fact, our own personal experience as well as with the data, so that AI is lacking a personal touch when it comes to customer service. Summing it up, I request the whole team here from our side, please, to support the motion that AI is a threat to humanity. Thank you. Over to you, moderator.
Thank you so much, debaters. That brings us to the end of today's mock debate. I hope everyone enjoyed and got some tips from our young, charming, dashing Toastmasters. As this is a mock debate, there will be no voting. We do have a set of panelists who will be evaluating the mock debate today. To introduce the team, we have our ever enthusiastic and vibrant Division C Director. She is a true HR professional, or a people person, as many organizations call it, who knows and understands a skill of an individual and directs them to the right path. She's been a part of Toastmasters since 2019. So everyone, let's give a huge round of applause to our dashing Division D Director, Toastmasters Soumya Shetty. Toastmasters Soumya, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And I hope this time I am audible. Yeah?
Yes,
okay.
You are audible.
Yeah, thank you so much. Before bringing on our panel moderator and the team of panelists, I would like to sincerely thank all the participants of mock debate. I can proudly say they are all fresh, young, new Toastmasters, maybe less than 1 year, and you all were like, in your A game. So kudos to you. Thank you so much. Now, without further ado, and I'll ask Zoom Master, I'll request Zoom Master to spotlight one by one as I introduce. Coming on first is our panel moderator, DTM Vinod Panikar. He's a remarkable professional and a dedicated Toastmaster since 2015. With a successful career as head of sales at Universal Carton Industries, DTM Vinod brings an extensive leadership experience to the table. And he had held pivotal roles, including past Division B Director and TLI Chair in District 105. Within Toastmasters, his versatility shines through as he has served various club ExCom roles, including President, VP Membership, Treasurer, and Secretary. Presently, he is the VP PR at Take Debate. This truly is exemplifying his commitment to personal and professional development. Thank you so much, DTM Vinod. He is our panel moderator today. Next up is DTM Jyotika. She has been a Toastmaster for a decade. She is a true leader, serving in various pivotal roles at both club and district levels. Her impressive achievements include a certified pathways mentor and a 3-time Triple Crown awardee. It's not easy, 3-time Triple Crown awardee. She has chartered 3 clubs in Dubai and India, including the first debate club in District 121. DTM Jyotika's commitment extends beyond Toastmasters as well, as she has excelled in coaching and mentoring entrepreneurs and startups, helping them become a confident and impactful speakers. Thank you so much, DTM Jyotika. The next one is someone who I have always heard a lot, admired a lot, and a very, very seasoned, humble, down-to-earth Toastmaster. In 2007, he embarked on a transformative journey with Toastmasters, starting at City of Gold Toastmaster Club, and later becoming a charter member of Take Debate Toastmasters. His commitment led him to become the first Division L Director. His extensive 30 years of corporate career, he spent 23 years in Dubai. Today, he contributes his expertise to an NGO in India assisting with technology, startup, and projects. DTM Sandeep Vinsakar. Zoom Master, can you please spotlight him? Thank you so much, sir. And last but not the least, a very seasoned professional, served as again Division L Director. He has also bagged the Best Division L Director Award, displaying exceptional leadership. With 2 division level debate championship and a title of region level best debater, his prowess in debate is unparalleled. A dedicated Toastmaster for a decade, he brings a wealth of experience and expertise to every endeavor. Currently, he's also advising us as Division C advisor, Toastmaster Stephen George. Zoom Master, can you please spotlight him? Thank you so much. So here is our power-packed panelist with the panel moderator. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Division Director Soumya. Just give a thumbs up if I am audible. Okay, great. So it's an honor and pleasure, DTM Sandeep, to see you. Jyotika, always a pleasure to see you smile, and Stephen, of course, my dear. So I am very blessed that I am not doing much speaking over here, and I'll make them speak. So I will start with DTM Sandeep first, and the questioning will be like this. The person that I call first would elaborate on that particular question for 2 or 3 minutes, and then I will go to the other 2 moderators to give their touch, maybe 30 seconds maximum. Then the second question will go to the second moderator. You can elaborate on it, and then I will take suggestions from second and third. So first, DTM Sandeep, I would like to know, did both the team did justice to the topic? AI is a threat to humanity. Was the debate revolving around threat? What did you feel?
Frankly, DTM Vinod and people know that I like to be frank in most of these things. I think the whole thing concentrated more on the benefits and the pros and cons of AI rather than talking about being a threat to humanity, right? And threat to humanity is way beyond jobs, security, and bias. And I think that's something which I would have expected to come out as a part, at least of the opening statements that were being put forward by the 2 opening speakers, right? But I think within the boundaries of what they spoke, and I will reserve some of my comments for later on. I would have loved this to be a little more around threat rather than the benefits of AI.
Thank you. Toastmaster Stephen, your comments? Anything to add?
Just very quickly, I agree with Toastmaster Sandeep, but I just want to add one element. They already had the points. They had the points to talk about the threat part of it. It was about carving their opening speech to look as, for example, job displacement. They could have said that, okay, it will eventually threaten to a place where you won't be able to bring food to the table. So they could have carved their speech in such a way. But yeah, the focus was less on threat, and it felt like a ChatGPT situation of pros and cons of AI.
So basically what DTM Devlal had mentioned, the signposting was not done well enough. We didn't knew where it was going. And that got us a little confused. Okay, DTM Jyotika, your comment on it? Anything you would like to comment?
Yeah. Well, as far as the signposting is concerned, I think the team A kind of, the opening speaker kind of defined what it is, what exactly AI is. But signposting on a broader level is to actually tell what they're going to do and what their points are. But I totally agree with what Sandeep and Stephen has said, that it did not revolve around threat. And that is what even I was looking for. However, they had one point of security risk, which again, they could have probably taken towards the threat aspect of it, which they kind of, took it just a little bit on the security aspect, more to do with the IT related stuff. So yes, I would definitely would have liked to see more on the threat aspect of the argument.
Thank you. So basically, the framing was not done like
Yeah.
what you say.
Correct. Yeah.
We needed to frame and scope of the debate. It was not mentioned. So benefits and I also felt something similar. So coming now, the questions will start. This was just a taster, everyone. So the questions I think starts with DTM Sandeep. The question is, did the opening speaker, I will start with the opening speaker first. For rebuttal, I will go to Stephen, and for closing speaker, I will go to DTM Jyotika. Did the opening speaker do justice? Means whatever was mentioned in the education session, definition, assertion, reason, evidence, and impact, were this visible in their arguments or claims that they made?
Yeah, and I will separate my analysis of the two opening speakers separately, and I will first talk with the opening speaker of the affirmative team. And I think the key things done, definitions done of AI, of humanity, of threat. So all of those things were put in place. Very nicely, 3 points picked up to ensure that they were significantly big points, not talking about the smaller ones. And also with proper research. And when I say proper, there was research supporting all 3 points, but there were one thing which I missed in all 3 was your ear and the sample sizes. I think research always needs to have, there are 3 or 4 things that a research supporting needs to have. Who did it? Where was it done? What was the sample size and the year? And I think that's something which we needed to do, right? So I think that is from the perspective of the affirmative opening speaker. The opening speaker of the negative team, I think the key challenge that I had with the opening speaker of the negative team was a lack of supporting for all the 3 points that were raised by the negative team opening speaker. You mentioned it enhancing productivity. I would have loved an example there. I would have loved an research there. I would have loved something which basically shows me where has it enhanced productivity. The same thing with respect to, you mentioned a research by Zuvi. Who is Zuvi? The moment you come up with a research, you need to ensure that it is a reputed body, everyone knows about it. And again, the other 4 or 5 points need to come up. Predictive analysis, you quoted again a research by Forbes, but again, just a research by Forbes. When, where, what did the research do? So these were the 3 gaps that I found as an opening speaker. As an opening speaker, the key has to be around supporting, making your 3 points as strong as possible. So that's my feedback on the opening speakers, DTM Vinod.
Thank you. I would like to ask about the definitions. Do we need to give source for the definitions?
Not necessarily. It all, see, again, it depends on the definitions itself, DTM Vinod. Things like artificial intelligence, humanity, and threat, when they are so generally acceptable definitions, it doesn't matter, right? Because at the end of it, you are only got 3 minutes. So using that time, so I'm not majorly worried about whether it was a Collins dictionary or the Webster dictionary, because these were generally accepted definitions.
Okay, thank you. Stephen, your observation on the opening speaker.
Yes,
for both the teams.
I will absolutely. So apart from the points that DTM Sandeep had mentioned, I'll just quickly go to the 4 opening speaker, Toastmaster Benjamin. There was one word in DTM Devlal's speech which was very important, and that is impact. So you have assertion, reason, evidence, and impact. And that one word is super important, because how to do that is, it would have been nice if you reiterated your point as well as maybe the topic of the debate, just for that emphasis, if you could, for each and every point, because you had the research, you had the statistics, and you set the point initially. So that impact was something for each point, which I felt could have been improved on, but otherwise it was wonderful. With regards to Toastmaster Rashmi, this is so Toastmaster Sandeep had already talked about the content part of it, but let us not forget that this is, after all, a contest. So we need to also remember the delivery part of it. Like, for example, the simple things, like, for example, we felt like, for example, your forehead was too close to the camera, or when we could see your eyes, it felt as if you were reading. It's okay, you can read because it's a debate, but probably, making sure that it is not so obvious that you're reading verbatim. Is just subtle tips which will increase that 30 points out of 100 in delivery that you will score in the final contest. So that's also just something that you need to keep in mind. Otherwise, great job to both of you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Stephen. And how effective is using personal examples in an opening speech? Because the against speaker had mentioned about, like what you say, how she is using it personally. So what is your thinking or thoughts on that?
Personally, I felt that using personal example, the example which she used, like for example, her first statement, if anyone remembers, was about etisalat and use of chatbot. The first two sentences that she used. If the rebuttal speaker had just picked that up and said, like for example, Emirates NBD uses Eva, I would rather talk to a woman called Eva rather than an AI robot called Eva, because it could have been played in such a way that maybe for you it works, but for the broader audience, it does not. So using personal examples can be something which can be easily rebutted by the rebuttal speaker. So it's better to avoid as much as possible.
Thank you. And by the way, you mentioned DTM Benjamin would have, Toastmaster Benjamin would have used the impact statement in a better way. So my observation was he actually used impact statement after every claim. So you meant, like, for example, the security risk, so he mentioned that, can you fathom a future? Like he was using a statement to make that particular point clear, but you're saying that it didn't come across very effectively.
Absolutely. So it's the same thing that we always tell. So reiterate the point and the topic, just for emphasis. That's it. It's only for emphasis to score that 1 or 2 extra points, which will make the difference at the semifinals or finals. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. DTM Jyotika, as a judge, if you were, like what you say now, marking your ballots, I don't want the score. Who gave you easy points to score? Both the opening speakers. I don't want much or less, but who made the job of judge easy?
Well, I
basically
think,
who gave assertion, reason, evidence, and impact very clearly.
I think if I don't really want to compare between the two speakers, that's not fair to do it. But how it came out to me is that for me, it was easy from the first speaker to comprehend what she was saying. Although the second speaker came out with a few points, and what I liked about the second speaker also, she brought in her personal example. But like Stephen said, when you have to be careful when you bring out a personal statement. And I would like to specifically quote where towards the end of her argument, or rather the proposition, what she did, she mentioned about the personal experience of how she uses it in her workspace. Now, throwing a statement like that can actually put you in a difficult situation also, because I would have wanted an example. I mean, just throwing is for me to understand and explain to myself how it's actually, because I don't know what your workspace is, right? So what I would suggest is when you're putting in a personal statement or a personal example, it can support your statement, but at the same time, you better have valid argument or a valid statement to support that particular statement that you're making. To answer your question, I would say the opening speaker was of the team affirmative, that's for the topic, was easy to comprehend, mainly because of the way he came out. He was confident, he was crisp, and he was to the point. And it was very clearly demarcated, which is what I see in an opening speaker, is the clear demarcation of the thought process, because that has to lead to a logical flow of understanding the whole statement. And for me, yes, the way he sat, the way he presented himself, and the way he had structured his entire speech was quite easy for me to understand. As against the second speaker, obviously it was the complete, I think the screen was not properly placed or something. That kind of was a little bit of a weak thing for her. So one more thing I would add there is for the second speaker is that you need to be a little more emphatic and prepare a little bit more, because that is where you make your statement and you help your rebuttal speaker and the closing speaker to make your statement with your preparedness. Yeah, that's what is my take.
Thank you. Thank you very much, DTM Jyotika. Coming to the rebuttal speaker, Toastmaster Stephen. I will start with the against speaker. So did the speakers do justice? Did they pick up the arguments and were able to address each and every argument? First question is, did both the speakers against, and the for addressed all the arguments that were raised by the opponent? And if yes, how?
Okay, for me, did the rebuttal speaker actually pick up the points? The answer in one word is yes. Like, for example, the against rebuttal speaker, when he spoke, he broke down 3 points of what the opening speaker said. And for Vijay, who was the for rebuttal as well, he's picked up those 3 points verbatim and he attacked one after the other. So in terms of structure, only structure, Vinod, yes, they made sure that they picked up the points said by the opponent speakers.
Right. So now when they picked up as DTM Sandeep mentions, you need to demotivate when you evaluate in like what you said, were they able to demotivate them? So when they picked up, like what you say, enhances productivity. For example, when Vijay picked up enhances productivity, was he able to make sure that we forget that point completely?
This is where I think not just Vinod, but the other speaker as well. That is where the improvement can come about. Like, for example, you spoke about enhanced productivity. Now, the way Vijay had rebutted, it's like saying that, yes, it does enhance productivity, but there is a large cost to it. For example, in the second statement, second point about customer experience, it's about, yes, AI does help for certain amount of customer experience, but when it comes to personalized experiences. So the point is, when you're a rebuttal speaker, whatever the opening speaker said, you're supposed to completely trash those points. So do not agree to the opening speaker at all. That statement should not come even by mistake as a single line in your rebuttal at all, is something which I felt could have been improved on.
And for the opening, Dr. Ravi?
Okay, this is also something very similar. For example, just to reiterate the point about Ravi mentioning about the second point, which is about biasness. Like, AI is being created by humans, so there is that human biasness. And the point that he mentioned is anything that you do will have human biasness involved in it. I felt that was not the right way of doing it. Probably another way of rebutting is that when you're creating AI systems, there is quality assessment, there is auditors who look after it. It is their job to ensure that the human biasness is not there, and they will take care of it if we have, let's say, an AI police or a chief AI officer in the company. So I felt that part of it could have been attacked a bit more by not agreeing to the opening speaker. So that's why it's very similar for both of them.
Thank you. My screen got froze, I believe. Am I audible, Soumya?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Okay, for some second. Okay, so basically we say that whenever somebody raises an argument, there are two things that we need to check. One is it true? Second is it important? So if we take through that filter, I felt somewhere it was like what you say, the importance, on the metric, on the scale of 0 to 10, the importance was not like what you say, handled properly, that the rebuttals were. What do you think, DTM Jyotika, about it? The rebuttals.
Well, yeah. First of all, let me congratulate both the speakers, because I felt that they have, as far as rebuttal speaker, the approach to the rebuttal role was done fantastically. I mean, I must appreciate that. Having seen so many of them in that role, they can just get a cold feet. As to answer your question, I think the structure, as far as the structure is concerned, both Ravi and Vijay understood it very well, that they have to pick up certain points and they have to deal with it. But what happened here is that they picked up the points that they had to pick up. Very well done on that. But what the weak aspect for me was when they actually started rebutting it, especially Dr. Ravi. Talking about job displacement, he said the best earning jobs were not existing 10 years ago. Great point to put forward. But what are those jobs? I mean, for me, they were, each point that he made, it kind of gave me a question mark in my mind. And that, I would say, should be avoided, because the whole point of rebuttal is for you to explicitly state your point and not leave those questions in the minds of the audience saying, what is it? But for me here, time and again, I was asking myself, which are those jobs? Then he made a statement saying only boring and dangerous. Which are those boring and dangerous jobs? I would like to know them, right? So don't leave it to me to answer my questions. I would rather hear it from you. Now, one more thing I would like to make, which I believe for me was very condescending, is one aspect when you raised a point called as dark and black or something like that, right? That is something I would say, please avoid doing it, because it's not only in the marking aspect where you could be marked down, but there could be people who could, take it in a very wrong way. And that is somewhere is a very, very, very sensitive issue that you would be, so avoid words like that and make it a little more better and give a better example that would probably strengthen your argument as well. But I must congratulate you that you came out very confident and you showed or demonstrated or displayed the ability to dissect the opening speaker. What fell short is the supporting evidence to actually make your rebuttal a very strong one. Now, this is for Dr. Ravi. Let's move to Vijay. Vijay started off with a bang. I mean, he started off as if he was a complete prepared a rebuttal speaker. He had those points and he came out with panache. And so congratulations, Vijay, because that attitude is what will actually take you to the next level, is what I felt. Now, what actually gave me a little bit of, in the first point, you talked about enhanced productivity. You talked about 83% struggle to integrate AI, quoted, and then you also quoted the major retailer. Now, this is a great point to make as in a personal example, but who is that retailer? Why aren't you disclosing the retailer, right? If you had disclosed the retailer and given me the actual result, probably that would add value to your argument, right? What was the impact that was created? Because remember, we are talking about threat here. We're not talking about the bottom lines here, right? And here I would like to also add a little bit here. I think you kind of validated or strengthened my doubt that, yes, the team is not talking about threat. So you got to be very careful here, because I felt somewhere you brought in the points, you were extremely, presentable, but you validated that doubt in my mind that, yes, you're not talking about threat. So that actually is a little bit of a weak point. So otherwise, as far as the touch is concerned, I would say both of you did it very well. Only thing is, please do the research well to support your arguments so that you come out as logical as possible. Right?
Thank you. Thank you, DTM Jyotika. DTM Sandeep, now some tips for all the audience who are sitting over here. So very clearly, they were mechanical, took the three claims that were done. But when they went in, it didn't feel like one on the other side, Vijay was saying yes. And then as Jyotika said, when he's saying yes, then doubt comes in mind. Even though his arguments were good, he gave some data. According to you, what can a rebuttal speaker do to nail it? Like you say, dig the hole, put them and cover it and build a house above it. What can be done for that?
Okay, I think very frankly, DTM Vinod, both the rebuttal speakers were too polite for me. As a rebuttal speaker, you cannot be polite, right? Okay, don't be personal, but don't be polite. That's my view of a rebuttal speaker, right? And I think, frankly speaking, Dr. Ravi put Benjamin on a pedestal. He said, Toastmaster Benjamin, who is a pro in debating. If he is a pro in debating, what are you doing there rebutting him? Right? So that basically, don't do that. It is your topic. You just go ahead and hammer them. Again, going back to Jyotika's point, I think the only thing which Toastmaster Vijay did was saying that yes. Basically, you are saying yes, but there is no yes, but. Everything that you guys say is wrong. That's the motion and that's the position that you should be going in with as a rebuttal speaker. Right? One thing you remember, as rebuttal speaker, there is no one after you to rebut what you're saying. Right? So go in with that point, but don't talk nonsense at the same time. Right? So basically be there, talk sense. The one solid thing that Toastmaster Vijay did, and which I loved, frankly, was he brought in new points to the argument without making them look like new points. he brought them as supporting to his rebuttal. So he actually quoted 3 pieces of research in all his 3 points, but because he linked them to the original topic, they were part of the rebuttal and will not be considered as new points brought in by the rebuttal speaker. I think that is a trick that needs to be developed by every rebuttal speaker, and that also shows the amount of preparation that you have done in advance by thinking about what might come up as a part of the opening speaker. So I think those are the pros and cons. In summary, no politeness, right? You have to be straight and finish it off. And the other thing is some of the positive points that you did were phenomenal, Toastmaster Vijay. Over to you, Vinod.
Thank you. So both of them picked all the points. That was amazing, actually. DTM Jyotika, to the closing speaker quickly now. So according to you, how did you feel as a judge? Both the speakers did, for and against.
Well, I think they're both pretty prepared is what I felt. However, Toastmaster Dia was much more prepared than Abhishek, I felt. They had those points ready, but as far as Dia is concerned, she brought in something called as RPA. Now, I don't know if I missed this out or was it a point introduced? I would like to believe that it is a point that is introduced, and I would highly recommend that you, especially in the closing, please do not bring new points where again it takes me back to thinking, where did I miss this point? So for a judge, that's very confusing. So please be careful when you draft your closing speech. Maybe you can establish some eye contact and right, and be prepared, because struggling to summarize is a clear definition of not being prepared and letting your opening and rebuttal speaker down, because this is your opportunity to really summarize the whole the discussion and put yourself forward. Abhishek, I felt somewhere you were also trying to put the things together, your argument together. However, I would say your attempt was good. You stated your position. So yeah, I think you have taken those 3 points, but again, better preparation probably would help you to close the summary better. Right. However, one point is Abhishek did not remind us what was your position. You said, I'm here to close the points, but you didn't state your position as to what you were speaking for. I think just a reminder of what you're speaking for would probably help us to understand. As a judge, I'm saying, it will help me to understand your position better.
Thank you. Toastmaster Stephen. So as I will take that from DTM Jyotika, were you very clear with the closing speakers? Where do they stand? Did they had an impact? And was the team line clear enough?
Okay, now since you worded the question very well, were they clear on the stand? Actually, both the closing speakers did mention their stand in the first 2 statements of their closing speeches. So that is well done. So we should give credit where credit is due. But I felt towards the end of it, you believe there is a word called conviction, which is there in the judge's ballot. There is manner, enthusiasm. I think that was something which needs to be there for every single closing speaker. So when you emphatically state the points, it has to be there. And I felt, personal opinion, that it was lacking, not just, let's say, in Diaz, but in both the speakers. So answering your question, was the stand clear? It was clear because they mentioned it in the beginning. But was I convinced that the team is convinced that what the stand was, whether AI is a threat to, in one answer, the answer is not really. It could have been better. Maybe the last 20 seconds, especially, Vinod.
So what could have they done better?
I think for both Dia and Toastmaster Abhishek, I think what you need to do basically is both of you actually set the points. I've actually written down, for example, Dia, you mentioned about automation, customer service, predictive analysis. For rebuttal also, you spoke about how it was rebutted against job displacement. I felt towards the end, after you seeing the red, you did extend a little bit in terms of talking about it. You don't need to do that. You can go emphatic, you can say it based on the points that were told by the opening and the rebuttal speaker. We emphatically state, and you can state the motion, or you can make it your own, but we want to see that energy, especially towards the end. And in terms of, I know it's red, I'll just very quickly say, Jyotika mentioned about you, Toastmaster Abhishek. personally, I felt that you did have the points, but the fact that Jyotika even mentioned that lack of preparation, it's mainly because of that energy aspect of it. You need to have that energy when you state the points, because that has that effect on a judge. Okay, this is a prepared speaker or not. So you did have the points, but you need to be a bit more emphatic towards the last 20 seconds of your speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Stephen. I'll take 1.5 minutes because I saw the timer now, actually. I was watching at somebody else and thinking it is yellow still. The first time I was seeing somebody else. But okay, so the closing speaker and the last to DTM Sandeep, according to you, and like from personal experience also, we have seen most of the semifinals and finals won because of the summary speaker, majority of the time, because the difference would be only two, or and paraphrasing is something which is a skill that summary speakers have. Like if my opening speaker said job description and I use the same exact job description, it looks like a repetition. Like, what did you add value? So what would you give suggestion to the summary speaker to make sure that they can add that extra?
Okay, just to reiterate, I'll come to that. Just to reiterate what Steven said, right? You, as a summary, as a closing speaker, the way you project yourself makes a lot of difference, right? You are just not coming there to talk about a summary. You have a role of your own, and that role needs to come up and be there. So I think the key is, it is important that you pick up the key points from your opening speaker and talk about them, but talk about them in such a way that becomes a little more understandable to the audience. I'll give you an example. When Toastmaster Benjamin talks about job displacement and the effects of it, the way it can be rephrased is, my opening speaker mentioned that there is a risk of job displacement by giving you this research X, Y, and Z, which will lead to challenge in the economic situation. Now, that is the way to paraphrase. You're not just going to say that he quoted a research and hence this is done. He quoted a research. No, that's not how you paraphrase. You basically pick up what you have learned from that and mention it to the audience. And I think that is the key thing. Don't read it out, because reading it out feels as if you're not prepared. And for me, if you don't have the opening speaker summary ready with you, before going into a debate, you're not prepared for the debate. I think that's the way I look at a closing speaker's speech. The one good thing with both the closing speakers, and which I liked, is both the closing speakers gave adequate importance both to the opening speaker as the rebuttal speaker. Right? I have seen situations where the closing speaker glosses over the rebuttal speaker because either they are not prepared together, or when they are listening to the speech, they have missed the points made by the rebuttal speaker. But in both the cases today, there was equal importance given. But I think you need to end with the bang. You need to end. If nature of delivery is important in a debate, it is perhaps the most important for a closing speaker, because that is the impression that remains in the judge's mind. Unfortunately, in an online platform, the fun of hammering the podium has gone away, right? The way we used to hammer. And Toastmaster Stephen was our closing speaker when we won the division championships, right? So basically the way you need to speak is take a leaf out of his book.
Thank you very much to all the moderators. So I believe and a big thank you to all the mock debaters. Without you, this was not possible. Of course, our expert panel has given. So DTM Dev also had mentioned in the beginning all the things. So look for the topic, definition, method, matter, manner is very, very important. That came out from here: assertion, reason, evidence, impact, signposting, framing of the debate, like what you say, a topic, and enjoy. The most important thing is enjoy the debate. There is no better thing, at least in Toastmasters, than debating. I can tell this with confidence. And DTM Sandeep, DTM Steve, Toastmaster Stephen will agree to that. Jyotika may think there are some better things, but to me, debate is a thing where you have project speeches, evaluation, table topic in a competition. You learn 10 times faster. What you can learn in an entire year, you can learn in one competition. So I would encourage all the members of Division C to give headache to your division director and take part and tell her to give the best menu possible, give best food possible, lunch, dinner, breakfast, everything. So I hope it will be done. Thank you very much, DTM Sandeep, DTM Jyotika, and Toastmaster Stephen for that wonderful insight, and to our timer who has been very meticulously showing me red light and also messaging me. Back to you, Division Director Soumya.
Thank you so much, DTM Vinod, DTM Sandeep, DTM Jyotika, Toastmaster Stephen, and of course our role players, Toastmaster Ganeshan. I saw him giving a tough time to DTM Devlal as well. So thank you, meticulously done, and I'm sure I can vouch for myself and everybody else. We have gone through so many education sessions, but every time we learn something new. And today's session was special in every single way. DTM Vinod was the chief judge in one of the debate contests in the morning, and he came running for this panel moderation. There is a mentor and mentee in one frame, DTM Sandeep and Toastmaster Stephen, which is again a rare sight to see. DTM Sandeep, he has been the first divisional director, and he had, really very seasoned, very down-to-earth Toastmaster, because as a Toastmaster, when you get introductions, everybody sends you a very long note. What he sent was just 2 lines. And then I was like, oh my God, he is really very, very humble, down to earth. And thank you everyone for being here on a Sunday afternoon, spending time. And we hope to see a very quality debate contest. So Division C will be having contest on 22nd of October, the prelims. And then, because we are the largest division of District 127, we can't do everything one day. It's going to be a long day. We will have the finals on 29th. Now, with this, I'll quickly give the stage back to Benjamin.
Thank you, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here again. What I'll be doing now is the vote of thanks. Don't worry, we are at the end of the meeting. So can I ask the moderator to please take a photo?
Let's everyone switch on their camera.
If everyone can switch on their cameras, and let's have a photo of the session.
Thank you, Ben. Would like to see everyone on camera. Wow, that's nice. Okay, the first screen has all the cameras on, so I'll just take a picture. 1, 2, 3. Quickly moving to screen 2. Smile again, because you don't know you're on which screen. And now, in case I have missed out anyone, I'm just taking a group photo out here. You have to click on take photo when you see it on screen. Just allow. Click on allow, and the Zoom app will take a picture. Toastmaster Benjamin, the photograph would be created in the app. And with this, over to you. I would request everyone to click on allow. You will be a part of the group picture.
Okay. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. You learn new things every day. I had no idea that the Zoom had this option to let yourself take a photo. I was totally unprepared. My expression was probably going to reflect that in the photo that comes out. Okay, so thanks so much for that. Our division director has already thanked almost everyone here. So she's made my job very easy. I will just be handing the certificates to those role players without which today's session would not have been possible. Let me just quickly share my screen. One moment. So I hope everyone can see my screen now. Yeah. So firstly, our Zoom master, Toastmaster Faisal. And when I give the certificates, please virtual round of applause, unmute yourself, applaud, whatever you want. So Toastmaster Faisal Rahman, thank you so much for being our Zoom master. Next, we have our long-suffering timer, who was indeed keeping everyone on track today. Thank you, Toastmaster Ganeshan. Sergeant at Arms, who opened the meeting with so much energy, so much pizzazz. A brand new Toastmaster, Toastmaster Eva Eliza, thank you so much. And our debate moderator, the ever-smiling Toastmaster Elizabeth George. Thank you so much. Now the debaters, myself, I take the appreciation. My teammate, Toastmaster Vijay, thank you. My other teammate, Toastmaster Abhishek Amarnani, thanks a lot. And our esteemed opposition, Toastmaster Reshmi Gulbaksani, Toastmaster GB Ravi, and Toastmaster Diya Pardasani. Thank you so much, guys. Our super knowledgeable trainer, I learned so much today. Thank you so much, DTM Devlal. It's always a pleasure to witness a session from you. DTM Vinod Panikar for moderating that unbelievable evaluation. Thank you so much. And our esteemed evaluator panels. DTM Sandeep Venkasarkar. Let me tell you, the frankness is appreciated and it is your trademark, I believe. I love it. DTM Jyotika Shetty, real pleasure. Thank you so much. And Toastmaster Stephen George, always a pleasure to be evaluated by this individual. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time out on a Sunday evening. And of course, hats off to the audience as well. The debate is not a debate without an audience. Thank you so much, everyone who made that time to come here. I will stop my screen sharing now and hand the stage back over to our division director, Toastmaster Soumya.
Thank you so much, Benjamin, and thank you, everyone. I won't keep you all waiting again. We have this section being recorded, so we will circulate it again. Once again, thank you, everyone. DTM Dev, DTM Sandeep, DTM Vinod, DTM Jyotika, Toastmaster Stephen, and all the mock debaters. I'm super, super proud of you. And I'm sure when you come for the division contest now, you are much more equipped and we'll see a fierce debate competition. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for the wonderful session. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.